Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing over there?
Hey, super. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. I got a whole lot of fun stuff we're going to be talking about today, and I'm excited because we've got a guest on today's program. I've got the CEO of Toolbox. Now, this is a cool idea. They probably don't have one in your neighborhood yet because they're not out there yet, but it's like Redbox, but it's got tools in it.
It's such a cool idea.
I think it's a cool idea. And I'm not sure. I think he's in Michigan, somewhere like that. We're going to be chatting with him and talk about this idea. And there's
it's going to be huge.
I think so, too. And there's a way that you can help. There's a way you can get involved. When we talk to him, we'll get all the details. And anyway, that's kind of a fun thing. Hey, a study found that a fish in Washington's Spokane River can have an extremely high concentration of toxic flame retardants.
What?
A fireproof fish.
How would it have gotten those?
I don't know, but there's...
And who figured it out?
I don't know. I was trying to light this
fish on fire.
Well, maybe he was trying to smoke the fish, and they're like, sir, that's not how you smoke the fish. I can't get this one to light. That's not how you smoke fish, sir. You're supposed to smoke them in a smoker. You don't light them on the... Anyway, thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month, plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Some restaurants in Britain are forcing customers who like their meat rare to sign a disclaimer before eating their meat due to fears of E. coli and salmonella poisoning. So here's my question for you. Now, how do you like your burgers if we go out, or if you like your steak?
Oh, my burgers? I like those well done.
Okay, but how do you like your steaks then?
Steaks, I like them medium rare to rare, depending on where you are. Like, we were in Montana. You order a steak rare, and it comes out mooing. I don't like it like that, but I do like it where it's very bloody.
Yeah.
In the middle.
So here's my question. If you went to a restaurant and you ordered the way you order, because we've been married a long enough time, I know how you order. You order yours rare or medium rare, and they asked you to sign a waiver.
I would probably go to another restaurant because it would make me think that they were not confident enough in themselves.
What is wrong with your food?
Yeah. So, I probably wouldn't eat there.
What is the least amount of cooking I can get without signing a waiver?
Yeah.
So I
probably wouldn't eat there. That would make me nervous.
That would make me nervous as well, but they're doing it right now in England, so there you go. Coming up, we got a sad statement about America. Going to chat about this on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVWheelator.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVWheelator.com.
You know this is true because you heard it on the radio. Virtually every town along the 20 miles of Long Beach Island seashore in the New Jersey area has signs warning beach lovers of the dangers of riptides. However, Long Beach Township itself does not. This, even though experts say the most summer visitors are ignorant to the power of currents and how to cope with them. So if you're in the water, it can pull you under. Mm-hmm. But Township Attorney Richard Shackleton explained that posting such helpful warnings may actually hurt local taxpayers. Why? Legally speaking, he says, a town generally is under no obligation to warn swimmers of natural conditions. Mr. Shackleton, that's your attorney, explained that once a town attempts to warn, judges and juries will too often find the warnings inadequate and award a swimmer or the survivors huge damages if someone gets hurt. So he's saying we can't put up warning signs. It could actually hurt us. I think that's a sad statement about where we've come in this country.
Oh, absolutely.
And
it's a
Mr.
horrible
Shackleton,
statement.
Mr. Attorney, I think it's your people that are making that happen, the attorneys. Like, you can sue somebody for almost anything nowadays.
That's awful.
Things that don't even make sense. So he's saying, as the township attorney, Mr. Shackleton is saying we don't want to put up signs warning people how dangerous our beach is. Otherwise, they'll get hurt and they'll sue us. And they'll say, you knew it was dangerous. You had a couple of signs up. But why didn't you stop me completely?
Wouldn't you think that the lack of signs would make them more susceptible to a lawsuit? That doesn't make sense to me.
They're going to just have to board up that whole entire beach. I don't know. It's just really sad to me that that's the way it is now. And, I guess that's the way... For whatever reason, over the last, seems like 20 or 30 years, we've gotten more and more litigious in our country where you get sued for almost anything. So
now, I will say, if somebody has purposely wronged you, maliciously wronged you and come after you and purposely tried to destroy you, you have means for a lawsuit, and you should fight to the death.
That's completely different than just because of a sign. There you go.
Exactly.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. If a police officer hits on your wife, should you hit the police officer?
No.
McCory J. Slemons of Davenport, Iowa, was charged with assault while displaying a dangerous weapon and public intoxication. A detective was monitoring an area where officers were looking for a robbery suspect early last Wednesday morning when Slemons approached him and accused the detective of checking out his wife. Slemons then challenged the detective to a fight, and he pulled out nunchucks.
Oh, my gosh.
The detective arrested Slemons, who later admitted during a police interview that, yeah, I'd been drinking.
Pulled out nunchucks.
Nunchucks. I thought they were numchucks, but that's N-U-N. I've never seen that
My brother had those.
When I was a kid, I got some at the state fair. In the 80s, kids, they sold things like that at state fairs. And flying ninja stars. Remember those things?
Oh, yeah. My brother had those, too.
Why did they sell those to 12-year-olds?
I don't know.
We had little marks all over the door in my
bedroom.
But yeah,
growing up, my brother had all that stuff.
Yeah.
He also had the switchblade comb.
I had one of those.
There's a little button in the comb.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Did you have the fingerless gloves?
I did indeed. Your brother and I would have got along so well. Well, we actually do now. But there you go. This has been your brain on drugs.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
I don't know who would do this. This guy apparently has an issue, but this is your moment of duh. 73-year-old retired obstetrician Parvis Peter Motorber was ordered by a judge to stay out of Clark County, Virginia. This following his fourth conviction of taking garbage bags from his home in West Virginia and dumping them along the highway in Clark County, Virginia.
Oh.
Incidentally, court records show that Dr. Motorber also had done this many times, more than the four. His attorney explained the good doctor held an intense grudge against the state for having suspended his license during the 1980s. He's still mad at him. Clark County just happened to be near his home. Dr. Motorber has been sentenced 3 times to a total of 540 hours of picking up litter, but a vigilant citizen caught him dumping trash again less than 6 months after his third conviction. So.
You'd think he wouldn't want to have that sentence again, just walking along picking up garbage. Maybe he enjoys it.
Could be. Maybe he's having fun. I have no idea.
Gets him out in the fresh air.
This has been your moment of duh. Your scoop of the day is on the way, and later in the program we'll be talking to the CEO of Toolbox. It's a cool idea. It's like Redbox with tools in it. And he just thought this up. I'm like, why didn't we think of this sooner? Anyway, we'll be chatting with him later in the program.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your Scoop of the Day. A pain in the neck. A lady from England is suing the government because she hurt her neck on the job. Well, kind of, sort of, not quite really on the job. She developed a neck pain when she was filling out required forms for her application for a pay raise. The lady claims that she spent 11 hours filling out a 7-page form, and it caused her severe neck pain. She's seeking $3,000 in the lawsuit.
11 hours for a 7-page form? She clearly was doing something wrong.
More than an hour a page, and this is all stuff you should know. It's about you.
That's ridiculous.
It's taken her so long. Authorities in Norway report 2 young men smashed up a train station elevator, but the elevator got a bit of a payback. The doors wouldn't open. The vandals were trapped inside.
Serves them right.
Officials from the National Rail Administration said they got what was coming to them. The 2 guys in their 20s now face criminal charges and a hefty repair bill as well. A thief robbed a jewelry store in a Utah town, not realizing he was surrounded by motorcycle cops having their international convention.
Whoa.
Yeah. Several off-duty officers washing their bikes heard the street vendors cry for help, and they set off in pursuit. The first to catch him on her motorcycle was Officer Luana Hamblin from the Van Buren Township in Michigan. She knocked him into a wall, handcuffed him, and waited for local police officers to arrive and finish what she started. So there you go. How funny is that?
What are the
Didn't
odds?
realize all these bikes that were here were officers off duty. Yeah, it's maybe a bad time to rob the place.
That's ridiculous.
The FBI says 5 men who were kicked off an Amtrak train had $700,000 in U.S. savings bonds, apparently stolen from a Nevada home. So,
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot. According to the investigators, the 5 were taking the train to Chicago from Sacramento, California, and they were going to launder the bonds there when they were busted. They've been charged in federal court with crimes including possessing stolen securities, and they probably would have gotten away with it if hadn't...
If it weren't for those pesky kids.
No, Scooby had nothing to do with this one. They got themselves in trouble on the train. You'd think if you had $700,000 worth of stolen savings bonds, you'd want to keep your nose clean, right?
Right.
Not these guys. They were smoking pot on the train.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why they were kicked off and arrested, and that's when the officers go, wait a minute, what is all of this? You guys are up to no
Serves
good.
them right.
Remember me? Well, he could barely remember her smile, but he remembered her hair, and he remembered the first day they met. He just couldn't remember her name. He met her in the 1940s. Ralph Dial, more than 60 years later, finally remembered the name of the love of his life. It finally came to him while he was driving at Christmas time 2002. He tracked her down by going through old newspapers in Knoxville, Tennessee. He found her name on a letter to the editor. He called the Knoxville News Sentinel and the editorial department. They contacted Vanita Anderson on her behalf. She called him a few minutes later. Turns out she only lived 30 miles away. They were both widowed, so they continued their conversation over dinner. 4 years later, Dial asked for her hand in marriage, and they were married.
Isn't that sweet?
That is really sweet. But he couldn't think of her name. He's like, this lady, I had the hots for her. She was such a sweetheart. She was so wonderful. I can't think of her name. 60 years it took him to come up with a name. I was like,
Well, it's not like he was thinking of that whole time. He was married, so he's a widower.
Vanita. That's what it was. Vanita. I got it.
Oh, funny.
How can I find her now? Somebody needs to create some sort of device where you can type names in and discover things. They have that, but he went to a library for some reason. All right, our strange law. You may not tap your feet or nod your head or anyway keep time to music in a New Hampshire tavern, restaurant, or cafe.
Oh.
So if you're in a New Hampshire tavern, restaurant, or cafe, do not tap your toes, snap your fingers, or clap your hands because they ain't having none of that. Not going to happen. We don't.
I'm sure it's a blast.
Yeah. We don't like those type of shenanigans around these parts. All right, that's been your Strange Law, and this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. I've got a special guest on the line. I have Daniel Ebert with a company called Toolbox, and this is a really neat thing. I've been reading about this online, and it's kind of like Redbox for tools. Daniel, how are you doing today?
Good, John. How are you doing?
Very good. You guys have got a pretty exciting day. You've got some crowdsource funding that's starting today. Is that right?
Yeah, we're launching for our crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, and we're hoping, it's very successful.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the concept for Toolbox. Where in the world did you come up with this idea?
Well, basically, I'm always asking my neighbor for tools, and sometimes they don't have them. And then also, running up to Home Depot, I live in kind of a country community, so running into Home Depot is like a 30-minute drive, and it just gets frustrating. So basically, I just thought that it'd be a great idea. And so basically what I want to do is build self-facilitating boxes that will basically be able to walk up and rent, just like you would Redbox.
So inside, we'll be able to find tools that instead of me buying it for the little project I'm working on and then have it sit in my garage taking up space, I could go up to this box, I could rent it and use it for the project, then bring it back and somebody else can rent it for their project.
Yes, and the nice thing is you can also reserve your tools online. So we have a website that'll be launched, and you'll be able to go on the website and actually pick whatever tool you need for your project. You can reserve it online, and then just travel to the box, and using your credit card, you'll be able to get the tool you need.
That's really neat. Now, when I was reading about this, I was absolutely fascinated with the idea because I own tools that I used one time a long, long time ago, and then I just sat there and look at it and think, why do I have these? So I think I would be a user of this. Now, you're not in my neighborhood, but eventually, your vision, Daniel, is it to have these toolboxes set up all around the country, or what's the grand vision?
Yeah, the grand vision, John, is just basically to make easily accessible tool rental to people. So we are hoping to go nationwide within 1 to 3 years. And hopefully you'll see these boxes in your neighborhood pretty soon.
And the neat thing is, when they're cruising down the road and they see one of these, they can say, "Hey, I heard that on the John and Heidi show way back when." I was fascinated with this when I saw it online. Like I said, I wanted to reach out and do a little story about it to make sure I knew what we were talking about. But it sounds like a really neat thing. Again, visiting with Daniel Ebert with Toolbox. And for lack of a better way to describe it, can I say it this way? It's like Redbox for tools. Can we say that?
Yeah, basically that's exactly what it's going to be. And, we're also doing a community program with the local communities. Once we have all the boxes basically built in the areas we are initially doing, we're reaching out to our communities, and we're going to offer low-cost rental to different community programs to help build houses and do different projects.
That's really cool. And that's a really nice way to serve the communities that you're going to be in right there.
Yes.
Now, the reason that we wanted to talk to you today, you guys have this crowdfunding thing. I've never been involved in one of these. You said it's through Indiegogo. Now, how does that work? How does this whole process work?
Okay, so basically people go online and they'll be able to see our project and read about what we're trying to do and the boxes we're trying to create. And there's a whole bunch of different projects on these crowdfunding platforms. A very popular one is Kickstarter. That's a different platform. And then there's Indiegogo. Indiegogo is more for projects that aren't going to offer actual products. So Toolbox is basically kind of like a service. So we're definitely going to be featured, and you'll be able to go online and basically read about our project. And if you want to support us, you can donate. There's going to be different levels of donation, and we're going to offer different. They're called perks. It's basically like prizes you get for donating. So maybe $1 you're going to get like a thank you. $5 to get a personal Skype call from me, and I'll be able to thank you in person over Skype. There's different perks we're gonna offer.
Awesome. And you've got a website set up, so if I want to go to that website so I don't have to mess around on the other one looking for it, I have it written down here, toolbox.psad.us, and that'll take me right to your page. Can I link to your crowdfunding from that?
Yes, it will be linked.
All right, so I can just jump right on there. Again, toolbox.ps, like Paul, Sam, Angel, David, psad.us, and then you can follow the link and go over and learn more about Toolbox. And while you're there, if it's something that you think is a cool idea, throw $1 or $2 their way, or however much you want to send. And it's a really cool thing. Daniel, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to chat with us. I'm going to be the first one to say I wish you the very best. I hope this is a huge thing, and I hope that we see toolboxes in every state all around the country. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'd really like to do that.
Well, thank you again for having the vision. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And folks, if you want to learn more, go to his website, toolbox.psad.us. Thank you so much for joining us on a Thursday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by carsforsale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at carsforsale.com.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, the 23rd day of July, which means today is Gorgeous Grandma Day.
Ah.
It's a pretty cool thing.
That is cool.
So you need to call your grandma today and say, "You are gorgeous." Also, that's, first of all, I've never really thought of my grandma as gorgeous before. I'm sure she is, but she's my grandma. I don't think of grandma in gorgeous terms. Do you?
No.
Me neither. All right. Anyway, it's also Hot Enough for You Day. Hot enough for you, Heidi? And it's Lumberjack Day. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
I love that song.
I sleep all night and I work all day. I bet that probably gets played on at least one radio station somewhere today. I mean,
it's too bad we don't have that
above and beyond the beauty of my singing
it.
there. That is, for those of you who don't know what that is, I didn't just make that up. That's from Monty Python. And it's a funny little skit. We haven't watched Monty Python in a long time.
Oh, it's been ages.
We should watch that one of these days. I
agree.
Maybe not today, because today is a special day. It is Thursday, the 23rd day of July.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Got a fun story right here about an exploding toilet.
Oh.
While sitting in a restaurant, it's not exactly the kind of thing you want to hear. An explosion coming from the bathroom. Two men from Milwaukee were injured when they tried to flush an explosive device down a toilet. And guess what? It exploded. The device blew up into the ladies' room at Zorba's restaurant, injuring the two men as they attempted to run away. As it exploded, the toilet sent pieces of porcelain flying everywhere. The two men were both hospitalized with major injuries. They were arrested and charged with endangering safety and criminal damage to property. Here's my question. What did they think was going to happen?
I wonder what their beef was. I wonder if they were fired from this particular restaurant or what.
I really wish they would tell me the answers to the questions you asked, but I don't know. But it happened in Milwaukee at Zorba's restaurant. If you're really interested, maybe you just Google that. Maybe there'll be a story. But Zorba's restaurant, and the men blew up the ladies' room. So kind of sounds like, I don't know if it started in the men's room and they blew up into the ladies' room. I don't know. It sounds like they did quite a bit of damage from the sounds of it. But can you imagine sitting in the restaurant? Hearing weird noises come from the bathroom. We just, not too long ago, shared a story of something weird that happened to me in a bathroom at a restaurant. My daughter had a loose tooth, and she, for whatever reason, would let her, when she was a baby, or not a baby, but a kid with teeth when they were changing out. This is a great story. I'm terrible at stories. She would leave them in there way too long, and we're trying to eat, and I said, "You're going to swallow this tooth. That's a bad idea. Let's just go look at it." So I brought her in the men's room, and I was showing her how loose it was in the mirror, and I'm trying to get the tooth out. I'm like, "Well, here, let me pull it out." And she's screaming and freaking out. And she's bleeding because this tooth is so loose it needs to come out. Anyway, a little girl runs from the men's room with blood all over her hands, holding her mouth, crying, and I come walking out of the men's room. I guarantee you, anybody in that restaurant had to be thinking, what kind of pervert is that guy? Where's my daughter? She had a loose tooth. That's all that was going on. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Note to self, never throw slippers in India. Unless, of course, you want to spend the rest of your life behind bars.
Ooh.
Listen to this story. In India, a 19-year-old named Rajmer Shamar, something like that?
I'm sure that's exactly spot on.
Probably. Was appearing before Judge C.D. Gangale when, this is why he was there, for robbing a rickshaw driver of $8. So that's what he was there for.
$8?
$8, yep. Frustrated at the charges, Rajmer, the guy that was in court, hurled his slippers at the judge, who did manage to duck in time, but he became so outraged, he sentenced the teenager to life in prison.
Whoa!
Life in prison. Senior lawyer, another guy that I'm not going to try this name, said the punishment is excessive, but the accused conduct was unpardonable. So he literally is going to be in prison.
That is insane.
He robbed a rickshaw driver of $8 while he was in prison. He threw his sandals at the judge. He's going to prison for life. Bad idea. Bad idea. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. You're listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
A 22-year-old Florida man dialed 911 more than 900 times since May.
Whoa!
Police say West Palm Beach police dispatchers were very taxed until his arrest on charges of misusing the 911 system. They let it go for 900 tries, then they finally said, that's it, we got to do something about this. During many of the calls, Howard V. Hill Jr. claimed that an officer had been shot. He indicated he wanted to shoot an officer with a bow and arrow, or he made animal sounds into the phone. Police say that on June 23rd, that day alone, 200 calls were made to 911 from his cell phone. Once he was arrested, he was allowed only one call. Can you guess who he decided to call?
911? Did he?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
This guy has problems. He's 22.
No, but that's hilarious. That's the kind of...
You have a call. Who'd you like to call?
That's the sort of thing I would do, though. If I was
calling 911. Would you have anything to say? Woof, woof, woof. He was just barking into the phone or making animal noises. This guy's nuts. Anyway, you're listening to The John and Heidi Show. Thanks for joining us on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
What would you do if
For
you had
Klondike bar?
That, yes. What would you do for Klondike bar? No. What would you do if you had an extra $400? Can you think of something fun?
Oh, yeah, I could think of something
What
fun.
would you do? Would you do something for others? Would you do something for yourself?
I don't
Both?
know. I would do lots of things.
Two men, Mike Lewis and Jesus Painter Ministries and Rob Westerman. So they're with the Jesus Painter Ministries. With the SNC Norwood Church, used $400 to help others pay for their groceries. And they're impacting millions. Their gift at a local grocery store was videotaped and placed on YouTube. And at last report, over 8 million people have seen this. And there have been a lot of people who are bumping up their generosity by saying, you know what, I want to do something like that.
That's very cool. We've talked about that before.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
And I know we've done that, just because we thought it would be cool.
We've paid for people's meals
Yeah.
in restaurants, and especially for our servicemen and women. If we see them in a restaurant
and I'll tell you,
out, we'll take care of their meal.
It feels so good.
It does.
And when we do it and we sneak out. We don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want
them to even know who it was.
We
just we'll see somebody and we're like, you know what? Can we get their bill too?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, wait, don't keep it quiet. We just want to do it. Just want to sneak out.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. It's not about them saying, hey, thank you for that. I don't want the thank you. We want to say thank you.
We want to say thank you to you, especially to our military.
Oh, so much so. But I thought it was so cool, and you can see the video. It's online if you go on YouTube, and it's just a really cool video of these guys and the generosity and
that's awesome.
And how much people absolutely appreciated this. And I think it'd be so cool. I wish I had some extra money to just do that with. One of these days, I'm going to scratch up some cash, and we're going to do something fun like that. But these guys here, Mike Lewis and Rob Westerman, they went to a grocery store. They had an extra $400, and they paid for people's groceries, and it was just an amazing thing that happened. Very, very fun. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
How would you like to increase the chances of getting your wallet back or your purse back if you ever lost it?
That'd be fantastic.
I can give you one simple tip that's going to help you increase your odds. Here's what it is. Put some photos of a baby in there, even if it's not your baby. Strangers are more likely to return a lost wallet containing photos of cute babies, according to British researchers. Ooh, they threw in the word cute. If you get ugly babies,
you might want to leave those out.
Scientists dropped 240 wallets across Edinburgh with pictures of either a smiling baby, a puppy, or a happy family, or a contented elderly couple. It turns out nobody cares about your dog or your parents or your smug superior family. But if there's a cute little baby, apparently that triggers compassionate instincts toward vulnerable infants. When faced with a photo of a baby, people were far more likely to send the wallet back. In fact, only 1 in 10 were hard-hearted enough not to do so. With a picture to tug at the emotions, just 1 in 7 were sent back. With no picture of any kind, 1 in 7 were sent back. According to Dr. Wiseman, the baby kicked off a caring feeling in people, which is not surprising. So there you go. 9 out of 10 returned it with the baby photo, and it was 1 in 7 were sent back with no photos. So have a photo of a baby. If you need a cute baby, I bet you could just Google that.
Humans are interesting, aren't they?
We are. There was a thing where I saw a video where a guy took a wallet and laid it on the ground, and people walked right by it, and then he took the same wallet, and they took like some erasable spray paint and spray painted a red circle around the wallet, and everybody walked right by. Nobody even noticed it. That was on like Brain Games or something. I thought, what in the world is going on? How would you not notice it? Now you've drawn attention to it with a giant red circle. Everybody walked right over it.
But before it had the circle,
before the circle was there,
it.
everybody saw it. It was fascinating. So I'm like, if I ever drop my wallet, I wish there was a way to just have it so it would spit out a red circle around it.
So nobody would pick it up,
right
but then
there.
you wouldn't get it back.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just not drop my wallet. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us on a Thursday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. That's where I go to get my razors. As a matter of fact, I went there once a long, long time ago. Now I don't ever have to think about it anymore. You don't have to try to remember, okay, grocery list. Oh, hey, I ran out of razors. You forget about it, and then you're using a dull, yucky razor for however long. And you get that razor burn, and your face all gouged up. And it's so much easier to just...
You've got quite a stockpile now.
I know, because... everybody keeps using mine. I bought you guys your own. I tried to do this. I have it all set up now. It's going to be fine. But I bought you guys the Humble Twin, and I was kind of hoping that you'd all use those. That didn't happen. But I've got the Executive Series. It's a nice set. If you're interested, go check it out. dollarshaveclub.com/radio. With July tending to be the month with the highest energy consumption, and summer being a season that Americans relocate to start new families and careers and whatnot, if you're planning on going somewhere, you're going, where should we move? Here's a couple things to think about. The least energy expensive states and the most energy expensive states.
Okay.
So who do you think is the least energy expensive state, like the cheapest energy in the world, or in our country?
I have no idea.
Number 10 is Louisiana, then California, then Florida. California? What?
California is the least?
Yeah, least energy expensive states. So Louisiana, California, Florida, Illinois, New Mexico, Arizona, number 5. 4 is Oregon. 3 is Washington. 2 is Colorado. The number 1 least energy expensive state, the District of Columbia. I am absolutely blown away by this.
I would have never guessed any of those.
I would not have either. Now, let's talk about the most energy expensive states. Again, I'm shocked. 42 is Georgia. 43, 44 is Maine. 45 is Vermont. 46 is North Dakota. 47, Rhode Island. 48, Alaska. 49, Massachusetts. 50, Wyoming. Who do you think is 51?
I have no idea.
Connecticut.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
this doesn't make any sense
bizarre.
to me. So that is the most expensive energy state is Connecticut. Least expensive is District of Columbia.
Huh.
I would have never, if you'd have given me 1,000 years to work on that, I would have never guessed that.
Huh.
Maybe 1,000 years I'd have gotten lucky and put them in the right order, but I'm just
That's
saying,
crazy.
That's shocking. All right, thank you so much for listening. That's going to do it for our bonus break. Keeping our bonus breaks a little shorter. Because our bonus breaks were getting kind of out of line for a while there.
Getting a little windy.
Our bonus breaks were almost as long as the rest of the show. Now I want to give you a little extra, but a little extra, not a lot extra. All right, your bonus break is brought to you by dollarshaveclub.com/radio.